All right, let's do this. 3 weeks to go. We are week 16, and we are kicking it off with the most important game of the season to this point, Rams and Seahawks. We have a Saturday doubleheader, including Packers-Bears.
Woo!
We have Bucs at Panthers for the NFC South lead.
The Packers and the Bears.
Yeah,
Shut up, Pete.
It all started at Lambeau for Kyle, and it's coming down to this. Pete!
Look at that.
Huge week.
Look at that.
12 and 5.
On fire.
You're up by 10 on Kyle now.
Yeah, I've been hot. I've been having some good little runs here, and 12 and 5, I'll take it.
Pete's feeling himself. Can you tell?
Yeah, that means, you know what that means?
What?
When you're 12 and 5 one week, picking games in the NFL, picking all the games, you're usually going to be 5 and 12 the next week. So take that for what it's worth with my picks this week.
That was impressive. I saw my record through text from Jack, but I didn't know that you had such a hell of a week. That's great, Pete. Way to
I
go,
had a good
man.
week.
Pulling away.
Yeah.
Most people fade you on picks, so they are not having a good season.
What gives with that?
You know, it's funny because I get those comments on Twitter sometimes. Oh, I won money picking against you. I won my pool picking against you. And I'm like, really? This week you did?
No,
Of all weeks?
Not this
I don't
past
think
week.
so.
12 and 5.
Show us your slips, liars.
He's on a heater. Well, let's start it off with a great game that's basically a pick-em Thursday night football. It's the Rams at the Seahawks. This line has kind of been flipping back and forth between the two. Rams slight favorites, even though it doesn't appear like Devontae Adams is going to be able to play in this game.
It doesn't, and that's a big issue for them because I always say it balances the field. And when you don't balance the field, what do? You use a lot of 3 tight ends, which they've been using a lot of anyways. I just think it puts more on Sean McVay and Matt Stafford. I'm worried a little bit about Sam Darnold in the moment. Last week he didn't play very well. And there's a history of him, kind of curling up in the fetal position at times in big games, and so I worry about that. But I don't think it's happening because I don't like what I've seen from the Rams defensively in the last couple of games. They've been getting hit by the big play. The secondary hasn't played as well. They're not rushing the passer as well as they had been. I'm going to take Seattle in this spot at home. I think that place is going to be electric and jumping. And by the way, did he throw 4 interceptions the last time they played?
He did.
And they had a chance to win the game despite the fact he threw 4 interceptions. I think they win the game this week.
You know what? You make a lot of good points. But I'm so frustrated with the Seattle Seahawks because I thought they were going to beat the Indianapolis Colts by 3 possessions this past game. And the fact that a 44-year-old quarterback was in there hanging around tells me that an even better quarterback that's in his 40s is going to be able to go up there and sling this thing around. Look, I know Devontae's out, but who likes to flex their brain muscle harder than Sean McVay? That guy's out there doing 200 IQ stuff all the time in the run game, in the pass game. I think we're going to see him in his full power. Give me the Rams in this one. I don't care where they're playing, who they're playing.
Did you just make Matthew Stafford 40 plus?
Oh, what is he, 38?
I think he's 37.
Yeah, well, we round up.
We rounded up all right.
I mean, the guy's been in the league forever.
Yeah,
you know what? You know why I
years,
think he's 40 plus? Because he got beat for 8 years physically and on paper. They got beat every week.
Plus, what do I tell you all the time?
Dog years for
What do I
Matt
tell you all the
Stafford.
time? Me and you are the same age because you got NFL years. in your
Exactly,
mind.
Can you tell
exactly.
Kyle's seed is up a lot higher
Hold
this
on.
week than
Let me fix that. And for those of you at home, I did mic myself up, so it may not look as beautiful.
Usually he has a handler in here who
Stop it.
It does.
That's ridiculous.
Your handler was in the restroom. It's okay. You have to do it handle yourself.
I had to handle myself.
By the way, Kyle got violently ill last week after doing the picks show with us. Didn't show up to
I
work
saw
the
my
rest of the
best
week.
bet record.
He had a good week, though. Just
Pete,
not good enough.
Sam Darnold has really struggled against the Rams lately. You mentioned earlier this season the 4 picks, but remember last year, wild card round, lost 27-9, sacked 9 times by this Sean McVay defense.
Yeah, but I think this is going to be different. He's at home. And this Rams defense in the secondary has been giving up a lot of big plays, and I think there's going to be opportunities for him to hit those big plays. You're right about last week, though. They did not play the way I expected them to play. That Colts defense was pushed around by Jacksonville the week before. They went up there and they kind of did the dictating to that side of the ball. They got to be better on offense. I think Darnold will be better on offense. I'm putting my faith in Sam Darnold in this game.
Wow.
Even though it's mid-December.
Yep.
Okay.
Timestamped that.
All right.
Yeah.
Not a pumpkin yet. That's going to be a huge game on Thursday night. Winner of that game is going to have the leg up for the 1 seed in the NFC and that bye all the way to the Super Bowl, home field advantage all the way to the Super Bowl. We have much more to get to here as we pick every game against the spread. Packers, Bears, Saturday night, Chicago. Can the Bears finally exorcise the demons of those Packers? We got NFL Saturday starting up this weekend.
Love it.
Eagles can clinch the NFC East against the Commanders. And a huge game in the NFC North. Winner of Packers-Bears is going to be in great position with 2 games to go atop that division. All right, we'll start with Eagles-Commanders. This would eliminate the Cowboys before they're even able to play because the Eagles have to lose out, Cowboys have to win out, and this would be, amazingly, the first time in over 20 years that we get a repeat winner in the AFC.
Back-to-back winners!
Yeah, it's been tough to do. Did I think it was going to happen this year? Yeah, I did. But the Eagles have had their speed bumps along the way.
No kidding.
But there's nothing like having problems, and then the Raiders show up, and all your problems are fixed. I mean,
yeah,
that's
31-0.
That's what the Raiders do. They fix all your problems. And the Eagles did some things last week that they hadn't done all year. I mean, they were throwing the ball into the middle of the field, which they need to do more of. And I like what I saw from the Eagles last week. And again, you're playing the Raiders, you're playing Kenny Pickett, you're playing a bad team, but you took advantage of that. Now you play a team in Washington, went on the road last week, did a nice job. I mean, you got to give them credit for that.
Beat the Giants.
But the bottom line is they're not a very good team on defense particularly, and I think that's going to be a problem. I think the Eagles got their offense going last week, and I think it's going to start carrying over, and I think they're going to go into Washington and win this game. I like the Eagles.
I don't care what kind of off-field conversations are happening, turmoil in the locker room, guys aren't on the same page, even schematically. I still think it's a game of Johnnies and Joes. And if you look at that Eagles football team, when they break the huddle on both sides of the ball, they got more Johnnies and Joes.
I thought it was Jimmy's and Joe's.
Well, Johnny's in the Philadelphians' case here, obviously. So Johnny's and Joes.
I knew a Johnny in Philadelphia when I was a kid growing up.
I know a couple Joes, too, from Philly. Look, this Eagles football team, they ain't perfect, but they are a winning football team. And with everything that's going on in Washington this year, Jaden Daniels going out of the lineup, the injury to Zach Ertz a couple weeks ago, that's like one of the hardest things to watch in sports, is a veteran like that who's seemingly invincible for 13 years in the NFL.
And by the way, when he was on the card, he knew his career was basically over.
That stuff resonates with a locker room, particularly a locker room that doesn't really have a lot of hope right now. I mean, the savior of the franchise isn't even on the field. Even though I have a ton of respect for the way Mariota's handled himself and played the game of football, I still love the Eagles in this spot. I'm not out on the Birds yet. Back-to-back division winners for the first time in God knows how long.
Back-to-back division winners!
And by the way, it's hard to believe this was the title game last year in the NFC.
Jeez, I didn't even think of that. Yeah. That's amazing.
10 victories by 1 possession for the Washington Commanders last year. Yeah. All their 1-possession games were victories, 10 of them.
But again, they played, and they were competitive in that game for a while, remember?
Man. And now Jaden Daniels out for the season. They shut him down, so it will be Marcus Mariota once again for the Eagles. That's at 5 Eastern on Saturday. 8:20 Eastern, the main course for your Saturday
What's
NFL
happening there?
pleasure. It's your Green Bay Packers against your Chicago.
You guys are disgusting.
You did the Lambeau Leap.
I did, just to show that I could do it.
The Packer fans embraced you. You're part of their culture now.
I'm undercover.
Yeah, I thought something interesting came out of Kyle's mouth in the break before this segment, and it was that in this game, the Micah Parsons injury isn't going to play as big of a factor as you might think. Why is that?
Look. Micah Parsons not being on the football field makes an offensive lineman's Friday night sleep in this case much better, okay? Because when you're playing against a Jeff Hafley defense with a super weapon like Micah Parsons, he can line up on any of us. Any one of us could get the blade at any time. And you're kind of thinking about that. Even if I'm matched up on somebody else, I'm like, where is Parsons going to come from now? He's the boogeyman. When he's not on the field, it's a more traditional look. The reason I said that during the break is because this. The Chicago Bears have question marks with Luther Burden's health, at the tight end's health, and you got questions with Roma Dunze's health. Without those guys on the field, you're fighting with one arm behind your back, just like the Packers defense is. So as much maligned as this roster is for Green Bay right now, Chicago fighting an uphill battle week to week. But all that said, I've got the Chicago Bears at home. I can't wait to watch this slugfest. It's going to be a Tyson-esque fight at Soldier Field on Saturday night.
Did you ever play in a game, and I think you did, against the Packers with stakes like this? It's because it seems every time, for a Bears fan, every time you play in a game like this, it seems like the Bears lose it.
My rookie year, It was the final week of the season, week 16, or was it 17? I forget. We have 17. Yeah,
16.
So it was week 16.
His 16th game.
Yeah.
The Packers were losing to the Bears, and it was a primetime game. It was freezing cold. Aaron Rodgers rolls left. John Kuhn, fullback, cuts Julius Peppers. Julius Peppers just misses Aaron Rodgers, and Rodgers flicks it up there. I believe it was to Cobb to win the football game. Uncovered in the back left part of the, and at that point in my career I said, guys, we'll be back, we got a good team. And you can see it on some of the veterans' faces, like, that's not how this thing works. We're so close right now, we have to take advantage. So for this Bears team that, you know, at the beginning of the season I said it's playing with house money, screw it. Get to the dance and dance your butts off, and you never know who's going to be crowned. And for the Packers, don't miss your opportunity, because you have the roster to go and make a run. You have the quarterback to make the run. You got the D coordinator who will be gone. Can't wait to watch this one, but it's the Bears.
I picked the Packers to go to the Super Bowl before the Micah Parsons trade, in large part because I believed in the quarterback. And I still do believe in the quarterback. But I don't know how they navigate all of the injuries. I mean, we forget that they lost Tucker Kraft, who was having an unbelievable season. Now Christian Watson, we don't know if how long he's going to be out. Zach Tom, the right tackle, their best offensive lineman, he might be out. And then you go to the defense. Evan Williams went down. He's been their best back end player on that team. How do you handle it? You know how you handle it? You let Jordan Love free. Keep him playing like he did. Look, he threw that interception. Christian Watson ran down the field. Look, see, there's the Packers fan right there. Look at him.
Go ahead.
Lambeau. Look at it, Lambeau.
I enjoy when you talk about Jordan Love playing free, because there's a lot of truth in this as a football player. Keep going on that.
And Jordan Love was lighting up a good Denver defense until that interception, and that kind of deflated him. And then when Watson went out of the lineup, it kind of deflated the offense. When Parsons went out of the lineup, it deflated the defense. But I think Matt LaFleur is a really good coach that doesn't get the credit he deserves, and I think Jordan Love's a better quarterback than people think he is. He was playing at a real 9 touchdown passes, no interceptions before that interception to Watson. And to Surtain throwing to Watson, I think he's going to play really well in this game. And this number looks really fishy to me. On the road, all those injuries, on the road against the division leader, all those injuries.
But he told you the Bears have maybe even more injuries.
They don't have as many injuries. They don't have as many devastating injuries. And I still think Jordan Love, this is your moment, buddy. Go win the division, and he will.
All right, so Pete on the Packers, Kyle on the Bears.
Well, you're a Packers fan too. It's okay. You play both. You're a fence straddle. You go both sides of the fence. Yeah, you do.
I got a bunch of metal in my body, and I'd say 90% of it is because I played for that team in navy and orange, and I love those guys.
Where's the metal?
It's everywhere, buddy. Just ask TSA.
Winner of this game controls their own destiny in the division, and they will be in the 2-seed position going into the final 2 weeks of the season. Kyle, we fit your entire head on the screen this week.
Wow, that's a real upset. You got your full head on that graphic.
I didn't realize how pointy my head is.
No, actually, Pierce's head is pointier than yours.
NFL Today Plus, where you can see Kyle every Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, HQ and Paramount Plus, leading into the NFL Today. Buffalo Bills back on track, back in the division race, and double-digit favorites this coming week. Josh Allen, could he make a run to another MVP? He's in the running. We're picking every game against the spread. Week 16, early slate, CBS.
There it is.
Oh.
A handful of games with spreads under 5. Bills-Browns, not one of them. Browns really falling apart toward the end of the season, but could see NFL history in that game. If Myles Garrett gets to Josh Allen, he needs a sack and a half to break the all-time mark for a single season, 1 to tie it. But more interestingly, it's the Buffalo Bills at 10-4, winners of 3 straight, just 1 game back in the division with 3 to play, and Josh Allen, the 3rd shortest odds to win the MVP award, Pete.
Look, he's playing great football, and he carried that team last week despite what Leger
Did you hear
has to say.
him and Leger arguing on the Power
I heard
Rankings
a ruckus,
Yeah.
but I didn't quite
My
hear.
goodness.
Leger says James Cook is the one that carries that team, which, you know, that's not true. Nobody believes
Did he
that.
give you they're 5-1 when James Cook gets it 20
Leger
times?
had all the stats. He had producer Jack
There's truth
and
to
little boy
that.
Troy build a graphic.
Yeah, because if you get a lead and you run the ball,
No, there's truth to that, because if you're running the football 20 times, it shows confidence in the offense defense there in Buffalo that the offensive line can handle it. Josh Allen doesn't have to put the cape on, but obviously we've all seen him put the cape on in the third and fourth quarter of football games. But this is a first, second, third, and fourth quarter statistic. James Cook is that axe you swing at the tree. That offensive line, you continue to lean on people. They've got 6 offensive linemen in Hawes and their tight end. They can do a number of things. And Aaron Cromer, I've stood at the top of the mountain and screamed his name for a long time.
You love him.
He gets his groups ready for big-time games better than anybody. And this group, you lean on them, you win football games.
They're going to win this game? Is that your pick?
I picked the
They're
Bills.
going to win the game? You got to lay 10.5.
Let me see what it says here. Bills.
Okay.
To cover
I like
10.5?
I like it too. And they are playing consecutive road games, though. That's never easy, but this one will be.
Back-to-back road games!
But this one will be, because the Browns are not very good right now. And Shedeur Sanders was terrible last week. And I think when you look at them, the offensive line is just a mess right now. Buffalo's defense is getting a little bit better. What they did in the second half last week was really creative. They threw a lot of different blitzes at Drake May, and he didn't like it. He didn't respond to it very well. I think that's a good sign for them going forward. I think Allen will carry this team like he always does to a victory here. They'll win the game by more than 10.5.
And the thing that, if you're a real sicko like me, I'm going to be watching for Josh Allen avoiding Myles Garrett the whole game, because that's going to be what people are looking at. If you're watching this Browns game, you want to see history happen. One guy doesn't want to be on that replay for the next 50 years.
Yeah.
His name,
Or do you?
His name is
No,
Josh
you don't.
Allen.
Well, Brett Favre did.
Nah.
Brett Favre did.
didn't mind.
I'm going to tell you what.
He did him a favor.
Josh Allen's a different bird.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to either.
Do you think he gets there? Do you think Garrett sets the record in this game with a sack and a half or more?
I think a sack and a half.
Sack and a half.
No, I don't think he gets it.
I don't think he gets it either. It's too hard to get him on the ground.
All right.
You get him once, you ain't get him twice.
That's CBS, 1 o'clock Eastern time, as is Bengals Dolphins, which both teams were eliminated this past week. Dolphins, again, losing in cold temperatures up there in Pittsburgh. Tua was bad. Mike McDaniel was asked on Tuesday, and we are doing this on Tuesday, asked about the quarterback situation. Would you consider benching Tua? And he said everything is on the table at this point. So we don't know. But we do know Burrow is supposed to play for the Bengals.
If you sit him down, the problem with that is, what do you do with him? Because you can't get rid of him.
Through 2028.
I mean, it's ridiculous, the contract that they gave him. And he's clearly not a very good quarterback right now. He was terrible on Monday night. You can talk about the conditions all you want, but it was more than that. He just didn't look comfortable. He throws a ton of interceptions. He doesn't read the field out very well. And they have a problem with quarterback. So what do you do if you have a problem with quarterback? Sit him down. I would sit him down. And I would play Quinn Ewers. I'd find out and see what he could do. I know they have Zach Wilson there too, but I would find out what Quinn Ewers has. And when you're in the summer, he made some really good throws in the summer at training camp. He made some good throws in preseason. Find out what you have. See what he can do. Let's be real. I thought Mike McDaniel was almost a lock to come back. After Monday night, I'm not so sure that's the case. And he kind of stumbled and stammered after the game when they asked him questions about it. Just was not a good look for the Miami Dolphins. How they handled the end of the game, not a good look. So I think there could be big changes coming in Miami again. And I think Tua needs to sit down, let somebody else play. Having said that, I'm going to take the Dolphins in the spot. I did like what I saw from their defense. It wasn't like
and I like their
It wasn't like the
line.
Bengals looked very good last week either with the goose egg against the Ravens, and they looked disinterested last week. Miami at least defensively looked interested, and that matters. Plus, it's going to be nice and sunny when those Bengals get down here. Who knows what they're going to do and go sit out in the sun and relax a little bit and show up and not play very hard. I'm going to take the Dolphins.
Champ Kelly took over as the interim GM about a half a dozen weeks ago, and they went on a run of about 5 or 6 games, right? 6 games they won. I like their offensive line. I think they play a physical brand of football when their coach allows them to. I like the defensive pieces that they have there and guys like Chop Robinson who continue to find ways to get home. My question for you is, since you've been around this league so long, do you think the Tua performance or lack thereof, because we've seen Tua light it up before and been a guy who makes anticipatory throws and can spread the ball around accurately. We haven't seen that lately. Do you think it's something that he's able to get through? I mean, we're always weighing his performance against that contract.
Well, they've run it so well.
Which is hard.
Up until last night, they had run it so well.
Yeah.
Which, why not just give the ball to Acham when he can go for big plays and averages over 5 yards a carry? So he had gone in the last night. And I don't think he got to it. He hadn't thrown 23 attempts in 4 straight games. It's the first time ever in the Mike McDaniel era that he hadn't had at least 4 games straight without 23 or more attempts. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So they're not leaning on him when they're protecting their quarterback. Now they have run the ball well, so maybe you do that. But I don't know if they can get out from under. They can't get out from underneath the contract.
If
they
it
got a
is-
quarterback problem. You know how I felt about Tua for years. I always thought he was a tad overrated, and now I think people are starting to realize he is. I would play Ewers.
If it is Quinn Ewers, I could see this team having success because, like I talked about, Champ Kelly, their interim GM, there's a lot of people auditioning, and there's a lot of guys who like their living situation in South Florida. And we've seen teams turn it around from bad teams to good teams overnight. So you're going to be playing, the quarterback night, or, they're going to try to figure out the quarterback stuff. Quinn Ewers plays this week. Everybody's auditioning. I could see them playing this Bengals team tough. But I don't see Joe Burrow having 3 bad games in a row.
No.
And I got the Cincinnati Bengals because I want Joe Burrow to go ham.
I like what I've seen from the Miami defense. A lot of young players starting to step up on that defense. Jordan Brooks has had a great year playing linebacker.
All right, let's move on to the Chiefs and the Titans. Crazy that the Chiefs are eliminated from the postseason. The Titans really have more to play for than the Chiefs because they're playing for the #1 seed. And Sportsline still gives them the best shot to get that number one seed.
pick.
Yeah, number 1 pick. I'm sorry.
Yeah, number 1 seed. Bite your tongue.
Number one pick in the draft. Gardner Minshew season.
Yep.
For the Chiefs. I know you always love it when Gardner Minshew pops back.
Speaking
up.
of seeds,
it was nothing better than Gardner Minshew going in at the end of the game and throwing an interception. There you are. I mean, you are what you are in this league, and that's who he is. But look, where's the motivation for the Chiefs here? Your quarterback's down. People are talking about the dynasty being over. Is Travis Kelce going to retire? Where's your motivation in this game? And I'm curious to see what they do. Because I don't know how motivated they will be. Andy Reid's a great coach, but this is going to be tough to get this team
and in
back.
that environment too.
Yeah, it's going to be. There's going to be about 14 people there. There'll probably be more Chiefs fans there than there will be Titans fans. But you know what the Titans are going to get? Me and Jamie Eisenberg always talk about that. Get the call from the GM. Don't win. Don't win. Don't win the game. Don't want to blow the #1 overall pick, or at least want to have a chance to get it. So I think the Chiefs, with Gardner Minshew, who's not very good, will go in there and find a way to win the game.
And cover?
And cover the number.
I don't see it the same as you. I see this.
It says on the paper you do.
I don't. I don't see it the same as you thinking that the Titans are just going to say, let's not win. I think the Titans locker room is like, let's beat the Kansas City. Let's find a way to beat the team that has.
That could be the win to hang your hat on for the season.
You know what I'm saying? It's,
That doesn't hold any water. Nothing carries over.
That matters. You know what? If you're a coach on a bad team, you have to remind your team sometimes, don't lose to the color of their jerseys. You know what I'm saying? You're playing somebody. Go beat them. And it's an opportunity for the Tennessee Titans, who, if they are, going to be the #1 pick, they ain't had a very good year. And for the Kansas City Chiefs, it's the same guys. They want to prove in that locker room that, it's Patrick Mahomes carries 95% of the weight. But we want to show that we can carry that 5% well, too. And just like I talk about closing up in Miami and guys auditioning, it's the same thing. Because I saw that tweet from Mahomes the other day. He said, I will be back, and it's going to be bad for everybody. That's why I'm picking the Chiefs. I know everybody's got to be ready. So when he runs and picks up that baton, they're already rolling, buddy.
So the players in Tennessee are going to ignore the call.
Give me the Chiefs.
By the way, if the Titans get the #1 overall pick, the value of that is unbelievable because Fernando Mendoza, you can get 2 first-round picks either from Cleveland or from the Jets by having that pick.
What's worse, me saying the Titans are playing for the #1 seed, or Lige saying the Bills' offensive coordinator is Wayne Brady?
Wayne Brady.
Stop.
Oh, yeah. Let's make a deal. Isn't that the show?
God, that was
Whose line is it anyway?
No, he does Let's Make a Deal, too, I think.
I like
All right,
that.
one more game on CBS in the early
Wayne
window.
Brady.
It's the Jets and the Saints, and man, momentum there in New Orleans with the first-year head coach and the first-year quarterback, back-to-back wins.
And back-to-back road games for the Jets, who are playing for nothing, and they fired their defensive coordinator. That was one of the worst defensive performances I've ever seen in my life last week. Trevor Lawrence just carved them to shreds. They didn't even try to stop that offense at all. And then you heard complaints about the defensive coordinator is not letting us play, he's not letting us do that. Aaron Glenn said after the game, it's not my defense. Well, okay, so he fired him. Well, now what? Now what do? do. The problem is they're not very good. They're not very good on offense. The offensive line actually is pretty good, by the way, and they can run the ball. But I think New Orleans is playing with some energy. Kellen Moore deserves credit for what he's done with this team. And I think Tyler Shuck is playing well as well. So I'm going to take the Saints in this spot. Ugly game.
At the beginning of the season, Pete and I went through all these teams and we kind of projected how their years were going to be. And I was trying to figure out what a successful year for the New Orleans Saints was going to be with all the kicking the contract cans down the road and the no quarterback.
They're still kicking, by the way.
I know they are, but what did I say that a successful establish a culture.
Right.
Have a team that can play hard. And whether it's the quarterback for your next 10 years or the quarterback for your next 10 months, have a team that rallies around him. And Kellen Moore's done that. Shucks played well enough. I like the Saints in this game. They've got something they're building there. I can't quite tell you what the Jets are building.
Shuck has played well enough that he has earned the right to be the quarterback next year. Next year. I'm not saying for the long haul, but the next year. And I think if you look at it on paper with the way the draft is played out, he will be their quarterback next year.
All right, those are the early games on CBS. Let's recap the picks. They agree on, I believe, 3 of the games. Pete with a 10-game lead going into the final.
So you know what I
weeks of the
should
regular
do is I
season?
should just pick every game the same as
Let's
him.
not get in 4-minute offense here, buddy.
Pete's going to kneel the ball.
I have infinite timeout.
The question is, do the playoffs count?
Oh, yeah, the playoffs.
Playoffs?
Playoffs. We got the playoffs.
We're talking about the playoffs?
Heck yeah. Coming up, will the Bucks make the playoffs? Well, it's either going to be them or the Panthers in that division. Does anybody want to win it? All right, we're looking at Sunday, 1 o'clock Eastern time games. And we have a big one in the NFC South. Somebody's got to win it, even though neither one of these teams are playing like it. Both the Bucks and the Panthers blew double-digit leads last week, lost on last-second field goals to teams below them in the division. That's the game we're going to start with. Bucks favored by 3 in Carolina. And Pete, as you noted on your power ranking show, if the Bucks can win this game, they can put this thing to bed before these teams see each other again in the final game of the season.
Yeah, they can. They'd have to beat Miami in the week after, and then the last game won't matter. I did not like what I saw from the Bucs defense the other night. I mean, you have a lead in the fourth quarter like that. You're supposed to put that game away and win it. They don't rush the passer, and they have injuries in the secondary. And when you have injuries in the secondary and you don't rush the passer, what happens?
Ooh, loose.
Yeah, and it got loose. It got really loose. I mean, you made Kirk Cousins look big on a Thursday night in crunch time.
Hey,
I mean, that's a
primetime Kirk.
He was all smiles, by the way.
But there was no pressure on the game. They're eliminated from playoff
He
competition.
went and got Chick-fil-A the next morning. He was like, "Hey, I'm Kirk Cousins. We got to win last
Right.
night." I was like, "They let him off the hook."
Right. And but there was no pressure on Kirk Cousins. There was a lot of pressure on the Bucs, and it showed. They didn't play very well. Baker Mayfield threw a bad interception late in that game. I do think they respond here, though. I think they're the better team. I think Baker Mayfield's the better quarterback, even though at times this year he hasn't played as well as he did early in the season. They do have their guys back on offense. And when you have Mike Evans back and Godwin back and McMillan made plays, that group is tough to defend. I do think they'll play better on defense in this spot. It's not like the Panthers throw it around, and I think they'll limit them. I'm going to take the Bucs in this game.
Hey, producer Jack, how many yards does Mike Evans have on the season? Because you know what? If Mike Evans is going to if he's going to get his 1,000 yards, he's going to have about 300 yards in this game. I'm going to be picking the Carolina Panthers in this one. I also didn't like what I saw from the Bucs. And if you listen to Tristan Wirf's post-game interview, he's disgusted with the whole team. And, I think Baker Mayfield's banged up. He's one of my favorite players in the National Football League. But this Carolina Panthers team has been dragged through the mud over the last couple years, and their quarterback has as well. He has been a stalwart and just a professional, easy to root for. This Panthers team, I could totally see them going and getting a W against this Bucs team. They smell blood in the water, and like you said, they're not ready to go to bed yet. They're not ready to lose and watch the Bucs beat the Dolphins next week.
Did you see that graphic? Boy, I'm bucking some trends, aren't I? By taking
Panthers
the Bucs?
are really good.
Throw that back up there. Throw that back up there. I want to see it.
I'm a trend bucker.
Okay, so what is this? Panthers' last 10 games as home underdogs. I mean, this is great. Keep pounding. If you had 150,000.
And not only that, the Bucs have failed to cover in 6 straight games.
I feel good. I feel good.
Well, they're going to break that streak this week.
Are you concerned, though, about the rush defense for Tampa against this team?
Well, yeah, Vita Vea hasn't played very well. I said it before. He looks heavy. He looks like he's gotten way too heavy.
He is heavy.
Way too heavy.
Yeah.
Way too heavy.
He's a
heavy
big guy.
He's heavier than he's been, it looks like, and he hasn't played as well.
What do you weigh these days, Pete?
Not close to Vita Vea, I can tell you that. And by the way, when he went in at fullback and he made a nice block, he did do that.
Oh.
Maybe he should focus on stopping the run better.
That was
There was a couple plays where he was on his back on the ground. That doesn't happen.
a little jiu-jitsu out there.
So if the Bucs win this game, they can wrap things up the following week. If the Panthers win this game, they can't necessarily do that. It would still come down to the final week of the regular season between these two teams in Tampa. Let's go to the Chargers and Cowboys. Dallas could be eliminated before this kicks. If the Eagles win their game against the Commanders Saturday, Cowboys
Which
eliminated.
they will do, which we all
more
think
than
they will
likely,
do.
yeah.
So Dallas will go into this game eliminated.
And the Chargers, they're playing for playoff position now. They've won 6 of 7.
Not just playoff position, they can still catch the Broncos. I mean, that's
Crazy.
possible.
Yeah, 2 games back with 3 to play.
Yeah, they could, and they play them, and they could still catch the Broncos. So when you look at this game, I think they put a lot into the Chiefs game last week, the Chargers. I really do. I mean, it was an enormous game for them to go prove that they were legitimate as a playoff team. I just think going on the road again, back-to-back road games, it's tough to do, and it's tough to do against a team that you think you're better than. And I'm not sure they are right now. I think the Cowboys aren't great, but I think this offense is a tough matchup for a Chargers defense has played very well. The flip side is the Chargers aren't exactly scoring a ton of points either. And so it's not like they're lighting up on the offensive side of the ball. I think Dallas wins this game. I'm going to take the Cowboys.
I think Dallas wins it as well. The Chargers, I do have real concerns about the Chargers and their ability to protect their superstar, Justin Herbert. I'm tired of seeing the guy on the ground. He's just beat to hell every single week. And even if he goes out there and puts forth a Herculean effort, it's an uphill battle week to week. And against this Cowboys team at home, I think it's going to be too much. Give me Dallas here.
I mean, you look at the Chargers' schedule, the next three, I mean, they could, if they run it, they could have a chance to win it. They could also be in big trouble if they don't. You know, I mean, you look at that schedule.
Well, who do they have besides the Broncos
they got
and the Cowboys?
The Texans.
Okay, oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Last week of the season, they played the Texans.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
That'll be a good confidence builder going into the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's move on to the last 1 o'clock Eastern time kickoff. Vikings, Giants. Giants in position for that number 1 overall pick. If it ended right now, they would have it. J.J. McCarthy suddenly has it.
9.
Back-to-back wins.
And
first time in his career.
And back-to-back road games for 9. And look, the Cowboys defense, it's a perfect tonic to try and get your offense looking right. They haven't been very good. I mean, I know they made steps forward before last week, but they made McCarthy look really good. The Giants did not look good last week. I think they'll respond better in this one. I know the Vikings, showed a lot on defense by attacking the quarterback, and they're going to attack Jackson Dart. But I think he's going to play better too. He hasn't run as much. He did go into the concussion protocol for another play, and he came right back out and went back into the game, which was crazy. But I'm going to take the Giants. I think they play well here. I'm going to take New York.
You know, there's those people that go to the art exhibits and like throw olive oil on them because
Yeah.
they're like disgusted about something. Like I want to go to the Giants facility and just like put bubble wrap all over Jackson Dart because I love watching that guy play football so much. But I want to continue to watch him play. And if they keep allowing him to put himself in harm's way, you got to pull him out and be like, you're not allowed to play. We have invested so much in you as a quarterback that we can't let you do this to yourself week in, week out. At least that's what I would be saying in the building. That being said, I'll take the Vikings. I think their defensive game plan week to week is awesome, and it's going to be hellish for Jackson Dart if he's out there.
You spend a lot of time in art galleries, do you?
Yeah, I see. I'm on TikTok. I see these people. They're blocking roads.
I see.
I'm gonna start blocking some roads pretty soon if Jackson Dart, isn't sliding.
What if you had to rush your wife to the hospital or something and they were blocking the road?
I don't know.
What would you do, Pete?
It's a predicament.
I don't know.
Bring out Santa's little helper, wouldn't you? Recapping the 1 o'clock Eastern time games. By the way, Brian Flores and the Vikings 10-0 straight up in their last 10 games against rookie quarterbacks. So look out, Jackson Dart.
Somebody's got to tell Jackson Dart to protect himself.
Yes.
Steelers Lions in Detroit probably needs to run the table here to get into the postseason. To the late afternoon on Sunday with a couple on CBS, including the Steelers Lions. We also have the Texans, who may be putting a a whooping on the Raiders, 14.5-point favorites. But let's start with the big one in Detroit, because the Lions need it. I mean, they've got to win out here.
Jeez.
The Steelers are in position now, a game ahead of the Ravens going into this week in this division.
It's an enormous game for both teams.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a survival test for basically both of them when you look at it. Maybe not so much for the Steelers, but for the Lions it probably is. You know, in years past, when the Steelers played in Detroit, that place was full of Steeler fans. I'm not so sure that'll be the case this time around, but I just think when you look at the way the Lions play, they can score and score and score.
And they don't lose
on
back-to-back
anybody.
games, clearly.
And the Steelers' defense played better against Miami, but I still have questions about them, particularly in the secondary, and I think you can hit some shots on them. I think Goff will play well here, but I also think that the Lions have issues in the secondary as well. So you know what this game's going to get?
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a lot of points scored. It's going to be fun to watch. Rodgers like the old days in that place, throwing the football all over the place. It's going to be fun, but I'm going to take the Lions.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch this one, but I definitely think it's going to be the Detroit Lions. And that stat was really telling. Wins following a loss. I mean, that's a culture thing. That's called a floor. Like, you know, you're not going below that concrete floor with Dan Campbell's culture. And I think the people they have in their building, they're just tough football players. They've got their backs against the wall. What better opportunity than at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers? Give me the Lions in this one. I really like this team.
Loose?
It's going to be pretty loose. I have a question for you. So you pick the Lions and the over.
Right.
Do you get an extra point?
No.
Okay.
No,
That's
the
my
over.
question.
No, the over.
Oh, you think that's how he's built his team?
I didn't know because
This is a desperate man over here. This is a desperate man over
I'm
here.
just wondering.
No.
Wait for the producer pick.
I'm joking.
Huh? No, you're
Best bet.
flailing. He's flailing like that bunny
Throw
rabbit
me a
that we had
rope.
there, the positivity rabbit.
Pete right now is the Texans and you're the Raiders, because Pete is on fire. You're really struggling, and you're matching up this week with a huge spread in Houston. It's 14.5.
Look, you got a team that's out on the road for a second straight week after really playing awful football last week at Philly, and now you got to go play that defense with that offensive line. Good luck. I don't think this number's high enough, to be honest with you. I think this might be one of those 33 to 4, not even 4.
You think the Raiders are going to score in this game?
They might get an accidental touchdown when Crosby tips the ball and picks it off or something.
The Texans score an own goal.
I think it's 33-7, something like that, maybe. So I'm going to take the Texans. I think they're playing really good football. The offense has come alive, too. And the offensive line, which was a major issue early in the season, has also played better. But I'm going to take the Texans minus the points.
I got the Texans as well, and they have one of those units on that defensive front that can just dictate terms. You know, there's certain offensive units, like I think about the Eagles last year with their offensive line or their defensive front, and they could just dictate terms and tell you what the game plan is going to be, and you got to come beat us. Well, that's the Texans week in, week out, and you get them at home on that turf. It is not a pretty sight to see both those edge rushers and those guys in the secondary, and obviously Coach Ryans does a great job. Give me the Houston Texans.
All right, those are the two on CBS in the late window. Also a couple games at 4:05 Eastern, and a really sneaky good game at 4:05. Jacksonville, red hot. Broncos, we know how hot they are. 11 straight wins, and I've heard Pete say a couple of times, it's possible the Jaguars could end up with the #1 seed.
Which is absolutely incredible when you think about it. It really is. And it's a tribute to Liam Cohen as a football coach. When he calls a game, he always seems one step ahead of the defense. And last week might have been his best one. Now, the Jets aren't good on defense, but some of the things he did last week were so creative. And what they've done with Trevor Lawrence is it absolutely turned his season around. He's playing with confidence. The offensive line is better. They're running the ball when they need to run the ball. And the receivers, Jacoby Myers has really changed the outcome of the game. I think they're going to be able to move the ball on the Broncos. I think they're going to be able to hit some shots on the Broncos. They'll attack Riley Moss. He'll get 1 or 2 pass interference penalties to help them move the football. But this team is also physical. I want to give you a name, Cole Van Lanen. There's a name. Nobody knows who he is. He started at 4 different spots on the offensive line in 4 successive weeks. Last week he was the left tackle. The last 2 weeks he's been the left tackle. He's been the best offensive lineman. He will stay in at left tackle, and he's going to be matched up against Nick Bonito. That'll be an interesting matchup to watch. I think Jacksonville goes in there and wins the football game.
There's no team hotter than the Denver Broncos right now, in my opinion. Offensively, defensively, Bo Nix gets better every week. The defense is the defense. They are who we thought they were. But you know what? I picked the Broncos last week. So all those haters in the YouTube comments, you can't say I've never picked the Broncos. This week I'm picking the Jaguars. I'm picking the Jaguars because that defense plays a similar brand of football that Broncos defense does. They just whip you up front. And with the Trevor Lawrence confidence bump, Liam Cohen schematically being ahead of the curve, there is real confidence and belief in Jacksonville. And when it happens really quick, like it has in Chicago, the belief is almost inflated. So right now this Jaguars team is riding a real high.
And getting Brian Thomas going is big for them, too.
Last 6
Jacoby
games.
Myers effect?
Yep.
Jags averaging 33 points per game. That's tops in the AFC. One more game at 4:05. Falcons, Cards. Cards have lost 6 straight. Falcons feeling good after Kirk Cousins bringing them from behind last Thursday night.
And they threw the ball around, and Bijan Robinson got the football, and they got him out in space, and they did some things. And Kyle Pitts, where were you been the whole career?
Game.
I mean, it was fantastic. The Cardinals have really big defensive problems. They have a ton of injuries on defense. They can't stop anybody. They also looks like they're going to be heading for some kind of coaching change, maybe a full regime change, because we thought this would be a season where they competed, or it maybe not made the playoffs, but competed. Now they're not even competing. I think Atlanta goes in there and wins the game.
It's crazy because I had this Cardinals team in the feisty category before the season.
Me too.
Like a team that could go beat somebody maybe in a wild card game, but they have not done that this season. And the Falcons, they've had their share of disappointments in my opinion as well, and obviously the story hasn't been clean at the quarterback spot. But Kirk Cousins looked like Kirk Cousins last game. Give me the Falcons to handle business. I just don't see the Cardinals winning anything or even keeping it here, 2.5.
These are two of the teams that might have new coaches next year. I mean, there's a chance that Raheem Morris and Jonathan Gannon both could be fired.
All right. That's the late window on Sunday. We had 5 games last week in that late window, 4 this week. Pete, with a little sprinkle, he'll get an extra point.
No, I don't get it. I don't get the points for those. It's just
bonus points.
We got a scrambling man over here. That's what we have.
It's going to get loose for Steelers, Lions. Both like Detroit, though. All right, coming up, primetime games on Sunday and Monday, including the Patriots, coming off their first loss in a while against a Ravens team that needs it in Baltimore. Sunday Night Football this week, Patriots at Ravens. Drake May was the MVP frontrunner going into last week, but they blew that 21-0 lead to the Bills. He's taken on a former MVP winner in Lamar Jackson, trying to get the Ravens back into playoff position. Ravens are at home, and they're favored by 2.5, Peter.
Yeah, look, the Ravens showed me something on defense last week, and I don't know if that was because Joe Burrow and gang was disinterested, because they looked disinterested, but they, shutting that team out after they put up the number on you that they did a couple weeks before that, that's impressive, and they needed to do that. I have not been impressed with this Ravens defense all season. I was last week. I think Lamar Jackson's starting to feel himself a little bit. They're starting to get the run game going. This is Ravens' time of the year, and I think this is one of those opportunities where they get to prove to people that they're in the mix and they're back, and I think they will against this Patriots team. I think it's going to be hard. It'll be a real challenge for Mike Vrabel to get this team back up off the ground again, because you blow a 21-0 lead. You're basically, the division's over if you win that game.
It would have been over. Yeah, they would have clinched.
And now you have to get back up and go out on the road and play a Ravens team that's playing desperate football. I mean, this is going to be tough for them, so I'm going to take the Ravens.
I think they hit the ground so hard last week after that comeback by the Bills that they have no choice but to bounce up. It's like, they hit their head so hard, they're back standing up without even know what's going on. And, I understand that you can't give up a lead like that and lose to a divisional opponent like that. But there's so much good on that tape when you go in and take a look at it on Monday that you can say, guys, it's not panic. This isn't a panic. We are a really good football team. We got to go handle business on the road. What better way to get the taste out of your mouth than against that Ravens team? Give me the Patriots in this one. The only way to quell that physicality of that Baltimore defense, perfectly thrown footballs on time and in rhythm, and that's what Drake May has done all season long.
By the way, I have the over in that game for a pick that doesn't count in the standings.
This one's getting loose, too.
Yeah, I do. I think it will.
Pressure could really get ratcheted up on the Patriots going into this game with the Bills playing the Browns. If that happens, they know that they need to win that to stay alone in first place, or else it'll be tied with a week to go. That's Sunday Night Football Two teams that could end up in the postseason. We know the Patriots will be there. The Ravens need to get that victory. Old Man Rivers is back for another start.
How did that fit inside the helmet, by the way?
Look at that ball just float off his hand. Colts Monday Night Football against the Niners. CBS Sports HQ Spotlight. We've got one more game to pick against the spread. It's the Niners and the Colts. Oh, we didn't put Phillip Rivers on there? Dang. It is a great running back matchup. Look at that. Christian McCaffrey against Jonathan Taylor.
Fantastic.
But Phillip Rivers is going to get his second start for the Colts, who have just a 13% chance to make the postseason, according to Sportsline.
It's a brutal path. I mean, their schedule is just brutal. You saw they competed last week. They did a nice job, particularly on defense last week at Seattle. And people talk about Rivers. He wasn't awful. He threw for 120 yards. He didn't throw the ball down the field. I mean, you can't win consistently in this league without throwing the ball down the field. So can he? That's the question. I think he knows where to go with the football. It's just, can he throw the ball down the field?
Is there enough on the velocity,
right.
is what you're saying?
Yeah. And, you know, I didn't see it last week. So I'm concerned about that. I think the 49ers, and we talk about this every week, Kyle Shanahan, what a great job he's done with this team. I mean, it's unreal, all the injuries that they've navigated through to get where they are, and I think they're going to find a way to win this game. I'll take the 49ers.
The other guy you're not talking about is our bald compadre over there, Robert Saleh.
He's done a great job, too.
Incredible. That's a dude I'd love to fly around
Who's
and play
bald,
for.
by the way?
All of us. All of us. I would say this Niners team, despite all the injuries, year after year, all the questions, the quarterback conversations we've had, Mac Jones, Brock Purdy, I still believe in this Niners team, and it must be because of Kyle Shanahan and the job he does with this group. Give me the Niners here, and look, you were right about the Colts. Great. I thought they were going to lose by 21 points in Seattle. They showed me something. Phillip Rivers showed me something. But it ain't going to be enough. I think Saleh will look at the film, see what worked for Seattle, see what didn't work for Seattle, see what made Phillip uncomfortable, and they're going to lean into that.
Do you think we could ever see an offensive lineman out of the game for 5 years in his 40s come back and return to it?
You could. I mean, go on YouTube and type in, after you watch this video in its entirety, go watch Tyron Smith.
Right.
Just run it around. Okay,
Yeah.
There's clips from the last month.
Yeah.
He's 6'7", 295, 8 abs, and could go.
How old are you? You're like
go
10
play.
years younger than Rivers, aren't you?
I don't know. Yeah, like 8 years younger. Yeah.
It's incredible that he's out there doing it.
Unreal.
But
44 years old.
He looked 44 last week.
Yeah.
He did.
But kept him in the game. Didn't make a mistake until the
didn't
end.
lose the game. But he's smart. He knows where to go with
Game
the football.
manager.
Yeah. Can't win that way consistently.
Game manager.
Trigger word.
He won't even say it anymore.
I hate that
He
word.
won't even say it. All right, we've got
Who's bald?
a lot of primetime games here this week because two games are on Saturday, and Kyle's got a lot of ground to make up. Down 10 games now to Pete Prisco, who's on a heater.
We disagree a lot, though, so you got a chance.
Yeah, you got a chance
do.
to pick up some games
Yeah.
this week.
I think you looked at my picks and tried to go the other way to try and get some.
You know I
data.
can't read, Pete.
You know what's coming up?
Read them to you.
We got best bets coming up. Who is betting on the Raiders? Apparently somebody is.
First round pick, Super Bowl champion Kenny Pickett.
Oh no, it's the producer pick.
Oh,
It's
no.
next. Best bet time, baby. Prisco 9-7. I'm barely
Is
keeping
there
my head
anything
above
I'm not
500.
leading?
Kyle's at the bottom with the producers.
I'm due to go rotten, though. Really. And I say that with all sincerity because it usually happens.
Well,
I'll
Pete,
beat you in a hot dog eating contest.
lead us
you
off,
will.
man. What's your best bet this week?
I'm going with the Cowboys. I just think bad spot for the Chargers. All these tough games. They play the Texans and the Broncos to close out the season. They go to Dallas. They think it's not the same team. Dallas will be eliminated by the time they kick it off. They'll play free. They'll play loose. I'm taking the Cowboys.
If Mike Vrabel and the Patriots are who I think that they are, and they handle business against this Ravens team and bounce off the mat the way I know that they will, the Coach of the Year stuff ain't out the window, and the Patriots are who I think they are. That's my best bet. Drake May and the boys handling business.
Pete, you don't like that
I don't like
pick,
that
do you?
one.
You were on the other side.
And I thought I was going to come in and I was going to be like, no, I had it first, Pete. We
I don't
can't do
like
the
it.
same
I
thing,
don't
but you
like
don't
it.
even like it.
I don't like it.
Doesn't like it.
Doesn't like it.
I know one of you don't like this pick, but one of you does. Seahawks +1 against the Rams.
I like that one.
I mean, they're getting a point at
I
home.
like that one.
I mean, in that atmosphere, I know Stafford's the MVP.
A pumpkin!
Can I put an asterisk next to it?
What's
though?
that, the pumpkin?
The Sam Darnold asterisk.
I know, you said you believe in him this week.
I think he's going to play well this week. I do.
Has not played well against the Rams the last couple of times, though. All right, time for the producer exotic. They're betting.
This is weird.
They're betting on the Vegas Raiders, who are dead last in your power rankings. Number 32 in your power rankings. Here it is. Raiders to score last at the Texans.
These are fun.
And it's plus 210, Pete. So that's going to count as 2 wins for the
No,
Raiders.
it's not counting as 2 wins. It's not counting as 2 wins.
So they're banking on the Raiders falling way behind. And you said it. You saw like a 31-7 game.
Weird.
So maybe it's 31-0.
By the way, did the Kirk Cousins yard didn't hit, did it?
Did you guys hit last week with the Cousins yards?
No.
Well, that was a disgusting producer pick right there.
What the hell is this?
Oh my God, who is that kid?
This is great.
Who is that kid?
That is my sophomore year of high school picture.
Was that soft or hard gel?
I shaved my eyebrows.
But not only that, were you Frosty Tips?
I was Frosted Tips.
Oh my God! Happy birthday, Chris!
Happy birthday, Chris!
What are you, 50?
Oh yeah, I'm 41.
41.
41 today.
Oldest 41-year-old man.